AngelPad.com.
Very cool. And we're at AngelPad and
Yes.
with 11 other companies, and you're going public today, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I was previously at Amazon.com. I was also at Cisco Systems as a software engineer. So AngelPad is full of companies with awesome people, and it's a pleasure to be here around so many talented people.
So what do you guys do?
So essentially, we think code is the new Lego, and we are building a platform that makes it easy for anyone with basic programming skills to build and play with popular APIs such as Facebook, Twilio, Twitter, Cloud, etc. And kind of like my story begins when I was in Amazon, and a product manager came up to me one day, and she was trying to make a basic REST or API call to Facebook, and she took pretty much 2 days to kind of figure out how to do that, and she finally got frustrated and gave up. So essentially, we're solving one of the biggest stumbling blocks, really, for amateur coders is getting an environment up and running that lets them play in a sandbox with various APIs.
So how do you do that?
So essentially, we pre-provision a stack that is automatically configured with your API, with your favorite web server or mobile web development platform, and they all kind of sit together in an integrated kind of stack. So you can begin coding right away. And I'll go ahead and show you.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So we'll just show you like a really basic.
If you could turn around and talk to me, because my mic's on the camera. So
essentially, this is kind of a basic experience right here. This is a very basic code snippet on our platform that gets your friends from Facebook. It consists of a basic for loop, and on the right-hand side, you see the output in the cloud. Okay. And this code can be edited live and, once again, kind of outputted back out in the cloud, all real time. The cool thing here is this can be kind of shared and embedded across the web, very similar to a YouTube video. Okay. So we like to call ourselves the YouTube of code.
Very cool. So this is a for loop that's calling a Facebook API.
Yep.
And so did you write this, or did this come pre-built in the system? Or
so essentially, we're building a collection of tens of thousands of live code snippets or mini projects that we're curating by manually and automatically based on certain parameters.
So it's crowdsourced programming.
Yes, it's crowdsourced programming, but crowdsourced programming that takes out the pain of configuring stuff. It's just all automatic. It's I like to call it, it's kind of magical in a way, because it takes a long time just to get an OAuth or an API key set up. So we're taking all that pain out.
So if I'm playing with this and I want to do something but I don't see a code snippet that does that, can I ask the community to build something for me? And is there a payment system in this, or is it all free? Or
right now, this is absolutely free. We're putting this out totally free of cost, and we're tying up with major API providers. We're launching trials with Facebook, Twilio, a bunch of smaller API providers to kind of live enable kind of the most popular example applications and starting points that developers use to, and amateur coders use to kind of build apps.
You should think of hooking up with Gumroad and letting me pay like $1 for a little snippet of code or something, or mostly just to say thank you, maybe $10 or something like that, right? Or $20. Something that wouldn't cost me a lot of money, but somebody else writing this code and putting it in the library, right?
Oh yeah, that's an interesting opportunity, and we're trying to build a community around our code snippets. So with active participation of expert programmers, an amateur coder can learn and build up applications a lot faster. So that's kind of.
How many components have you gotten built already, or is it too early to really ask that question?
So we're still in private beta, so we're still kind of building up a collection. But when we go live, we're hoping to have over 1,000 plus popular code snippets applications, and we're planning to support the most popular web frameworks, APIs, and even Android.
Very cool. Very cool. It's a really interesting idea. How did you? Well, we covered how you got into this. How do you think you're going to make money with this? Is it going to be something like a link that lets people pay $20 for a snippet and then $2 goes in your pocket?
So it's interesting. Essentially, we're building a platform as a service here. So essentially, what we've built on top is a live Cloud Foundry AWS cluster. So essentially,
we gotta get you on Rackspace Cloud. Get you on OpenStack.
So essentially, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to kind of live power all of the popular code snippets and starting points for most developers. And once they start coding or building a project out of an environment, we have a natural transition point to a PaaS or development as a service environment with a Cloud 9 IDE-like experience integrated with the stack. So we're moving in that direction. It's kind of similar to, like, for example, if you see a Heroku deploy button when you create a Facebook app, you kind of, it's an easy starting point. So for us, the easy starting points are the basic example apps and starter applications used by, or that are supported by most companies.
That is cool. What kinds of things do you think people are going to do with this? This is the first one.
So to start off purely, we're trying to kind of engage the curiosity of coders, amateur and professional, in a large way. And essentially, this is the problem we see. A lot of developers, and especially amateur ones, see an interesting project, maybe with a Twilio API or a Facebook API, but they simply don't have the time to kind of overcome that barrier to get something up and running. So by giving them an instant environment, we're hoping to engage their curiosity and give them a tool that lets them create content. So essentially, we're almost we're positioning ourselves as a code content platform that could compete, could be a large repository of useful code snippets as well.
Is this code commented? Does it teach you how the code works?
So essentially,
so that I could look at a code snippet and start learning about how these APIs work?
Yes, we're doing a couple of very interesting things. So we're trying to consumerize the experience around code, and that's essentially kind of our big high level goal. For example, as you actually hit the run button, we kind of highlight the lines of code that are actually running. Very similarly, if you hover over certain API calls, we plan to crowdsource documentation and comments around those particular lines of code. The very cool thing we're doing is that right now, as people use our live code environment, they run into errors. So we're actually crowdsourcing the most common errors and helping people. We plan to help people figure out, what's the best way to solve it. So essentially, we're kind of generating this whole mass of data that kind of helps users learn, play, and experiment with code in an interesting way.
Very cool. Where do we learn more about it?
You go to codenow.com.
Codenow.com. Thank you so much. This is really cool.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Edward Kim, and I'm an independent Android developer. Before getting into Android development, I graduated in 2005 from Stanford University with a degree in electrical engineering. After graduating, but before getting into Android development, I worked as an engineer for Volkswagen and then started my own startup company. I've written apps such as Car Locator, Smarter Alarm, Screenshot It, Copy Paste It, and several others. My apps have won numerous prizes, including Google's Android Developer Challenge and Verizon's Power Your App contest, and have been featured in magazines, commercials, and various Android markets. I've been fortunate enough to be able to make a good living from Android apps. Making a successful Android app is part science and part art. It is my hope that this book will give you actionable and concrete strategies that will help you get more sales from your apps. These are the same strategies that I've used for my own apps and have worked over and over again. Again, my name is Edward Kim, and I look forward to helping you through my book.